talk with me today. Tell me your stories. I want to know, really. I believe. I believe. Tell me. Tell me.
For your privacy.
Hey everybody, it's me, Z, the host of For Your Privacy, the only podcast where you can cuss as much as you want to. However, I'll try to limit that because we have a prestigious guest today. Someone that claims to have been a former Wall Street insider, someone that was in the inner folds of that world. And we have them here in studio, so let's get this interview started. Thanks for coming today. I know it's difficult because of COVID and everything.
It's nice because, well, you have the vax, I have the vax, so that's pretty nice. And, it lets us be in here today, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary world out there. So you used to be a Wall Street insider?
Yeah, I was in there. I was in the inner circles, I guess you could say.
That's pretty cool. Maybe you could start by telling us a little bit about your upbringing and like education and everything.
Yeah. So I come from a wealthy old money family. My dad was a cobalt miner who worked his way up to being the owner of a company, and then he expanded the company and got into hyperaccumulator trees.
That's pretty cool. What is that?
Hyperaccumulator trees, they are a type of tree that have been bred essentially to absorb certain metals at above rates that are toxic usually to a regular tree.
That's pretty cool. So you made money off of both of those things?
Yeah, and so I went to a historic, business school where I was just like everybody else, or tried to fit in at least. And I was in a frat. I went to parties. I did everything, that a normal college student does, I guess.
You were in a frat? What was that like? Did you get hazed or anything at all?
It was a normal Greek experience, There were frat activities, of course. There were parties. We would play pranks on the other sororities, and it would be stuff like we would saran wrap the entire building, all the windows, all the doors, in roughly $2,000 worth of saran wrap. And then right before we would saran wrap the bottom, we would set off these stink bombs, maybe 10, 15, 20, 60. But anyways, we never got caught. That's a great thing. You can do a lot with impunity.
I mean, that doesn't sound too great. You were saying you were hazed a little bit, or?
Yeah, I mean, there was hazing, of course. That's just part of it. It bonds you. You have brotherhood, all that. So, I mean, we would have to go, cook meals and buy food for, the older brothers, and, we would have to, buy them protein shakes and clean their houses and stuff. But, I mean, they have mad respect, man. They're old. They've been through it, right? So I'm just doing the same thing. My favorite thing, I don't even know if it was hazing, was a game that we played called Red Butt. It was pretty cool.
Red Butt? You said it was Red Butt?
Yeah, man, it was called Red Butt. It was cool as heck. So essentially, we would go down to the basement where we would usually party, and, we would go down. The game was essentially like this. You pull your butt out, someone else pulls their butt out. And you take turns, and you slap each other's butt as hard as you can. And you call them a fucking pussy. And whoever gives up, or whoever you can tell whose butt gets red first, loses. And if you lose, you have to do everything that the brothers want for an entire week. You can't even argue or anything.
That's kind of fucked up. A red butt. That's a crazy ass game. Was that pretty common?
We played Red Butt 2-3 times a day. I mean, it was so fun, dude. Like, if you lost, like, everyone would call you pussy for like 2 weeks, a month. So, like, you had to smack their ass pretty hard, dude. I still have, like, some scars on my ass, but I was real good at Red Butt. And everybody would chant, too. They'd say, Red Butt, Red Butt, Red Butt, Red Butt.
Okay, so anyways, how did you get to be on Wall Street, or how did you get involved with Wall Street?
I studied business, I studied econ, and then I just, got my first job kind of like selling penny stocks and options and shit like that. So I worked my way up to be the CEO of my firm.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty quick ascension. How long did you think it took?
Well, it took about 2 years or a year and 8 months to be specific. It was actually the fastest ascension from bottom to top in any job category ever. So that's pretty cool.
So do you mind, I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you mind if we do a quick commercial and then we'll come back?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's do it. Yeah. Are you sick of supply chain issues? Are you sick of showing up at 5 in the morning to catch a roll of toilet paper coming off the truck and it's already gone before they even open the doors?
Hey, what happened?
It's probably because they use TP stocks. Hi, I'm Dan Manson. I am the owner and founder of TP Stocks, the newest app coming in the fall of 2025. Basically, it works like this. You invest in certain brands of toilet paper. The more scarce, the more the price is going to go up. We buy the toilet paper for you. We hold it. You can cash out at any time and take your toilet paper, but you can also hold on to it and watch the price go up. When you think that it's reached a good return on your investment, you can sell it. It's simple as that. Keep your eyes peeled because we're going to be on every major app store starting in 2025, which is sooner than you think. TP stocks, the only stocks that are guaranteed to go up while all your other ones go down the crapper. Check us out today. Stay tuned. We're on every social media as well.
Okay, and so we are back with our guest. You were saying that you had the quickest ascension to a CEO at that time, or?
Well, I mean, it might have been at that time. I don't know. It was the 70s. So, I mean, I guess maybe in like 50 years somebody could have done it, but who knows? Anyway, so, yeah, there was that. So I noticed that I wasn't really invited to any parties or anything. And I would see everybody like, at the stock market, at Wall Street itself, at the exchange. I noticed that everybody would leave and they would go get lunch. Nobody invited me. And then, one day somebody said, hey, you want to come to the club with us after? And I was like, oh, this is going to be sick. So we go to the club and.
Okay, sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but everybody there would just hang out?
Yeah, everybody. Everybody would go to lunch except for me, and everybody would go to dinner except for me. So it was really nice when they invited me to this club. And so I go to the club, and we all get a couple of drinks, and then everybody kind of left. And it went that way for maybe a month or so. And I don't know. Eventually they said, hey, do you want to get out of here? And I was like, whoa, there's another layer to this? And so we went, and we actually went to the New York Stock Exchange.
The exchange?
Oh yeah, the exchange is the most heavenly place on earth to me. It's so beautiful there. I mean, they leave the tickers on all night. A lot of people think they turn everything off, but everything in there is running pristinely.
So what were you doing there?
I was just about to tell you, actually. So we go down, and it's like this spiral staircase that goes down into the dungeon, kind of the New York Stock Exchange. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And so they have an open bar. You don't have to pay anything. A lot of the people there would kind of stay away from me there as well. But I knew they'd come around just like every other time. And so I would just kind of watch, football. What was kind of shitty was they would only play Jets games. And so it was whatever, but they were like these very expensive handmade leather couches, the kind of stuff those people can buy. It was like sitting on a cloud.
Okay, so you just went down to this secret basement for like to party and watch Jets games, or?
Well, actually, there was another layer. And so after a month of hanging out with them down there in the basement, they were like, hey, you should come down to the secret basement in the secret basement. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So we went down another spiral staircase, and it was this room. It had tarps everywhere. It had tables. It still had couches and TVs. It didn't have a bar, though. Instead, they had a guy in a trench coat, and it was exactly what, like, out of a 90s drug PSA. He opened up his coat, and he had everything you could think of. It was labeled in these little slide label pockets, specially sewn into the trench coat. And I mean, this guy, he had everything. He had GHB, he had Dilaudid, he had Claritin PM, he had zinc, he had Robitussin. He had pretty much everything, for like partying and all that. And me, I had drank a lot the day before. I wasn't drinking that day, so I just got a couple of ibuprofen.
Do you mind if we go to another ad real quick? I get paid to put these on. I know it's an inconvenience, but I would appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. I understand. Go for it.
January 31st, 2023. The official children of the 1969 incident telethon. It will be the first annual telethon to raise money for the children of the event. It's in the history books. Never forget. Donate today. We're gonna have everybody. We have that guy from that video. You know the video. You know which one. You have it bookmarked. We have the girl from Instagram. You know which one. Come on, you have her bookmarked. Anyways, stay tuned for more information. We need money bad. The children of the incident of 1969 are broke.
This was paid for by the children of the incident of 1969. Please go to our website to help us out. We need to fund our children.
And we are back in the studio here with our guest who was saying that they were lured down to the secret basement under the secret basement at the New York Stock Exchange. Is that right?
Yep, that's what I said. Something I left out, there was a very large statue of Anthony Stockholm, who, I kid you not, was the first New York Stock Exchange president. Weird last name. Anyways, so we go down. It was a medieval style dungeon, and turns out, as they called it, they would drink the blood of the living. And so they would drain the blood of like these weird captives, which through their connections, through, just being like rich and powerful, they had connections where they could essentially genetically edit people to be like, feel no pain and like have no senses and pretty much just be like little husks with blood. And so they would take their blood. The blood had like genetically engineered red blood cells that made them younger. So like every time they did it, like they would be 5 years visibly younger. And I never did it, and it's honestly why I left, because it just got too weird for me. I had to leave the whole sector, just mainly because I was suspicious.
What do you mean you were suspicious? That they were gonna clone you, or?
Oh no, I just thought they were vampires. Like, it was fucking weird. Anyways, so yeah, ever since then I've just been kind of undercover, and I go from place to place, and just travel around. I did release my memoirs though, and it's called In the Clasps, A Story of Love, Terror, and Money. And I have my eyes on several different news spots I could possibly get. I hope my number one's Nancy Grace. We haven't been in contact with the Nancy Grace people. We're still trying to figure out how to do that. You have any other questions for me, or?
Yeah, so just give me a couple of seconds to think of a question or two. We'll just go ahead and do this last ad real quick, get that out of the way, and then, I'll see if what I can think of.
Randy, I'm leaving you. Here are the divorce papers.
Randy, dude, it's been 6 months. You gotta get out on the scene again.
Randy, you gotta get out on the scene again. It's been 2 years.
Randy, are you ever gonna date, dude? It's been 25 years.
Randy, like 30 million other men in the United States, has erectile dysfunction, but he's afraid to tell his friends. Randy doesn't have to sit inside with his limp dingus all day. Randy could just go to a doctor. If you can't get it up, just go to a doctor.
This was paid for by the Anti-ED Commission.
And we are back with our guest, and I have a couple of queries for you. First off, what was it like when you were down there just watching them like drink blood?
Well, it was actually really weird. So, you would think that they just kind of like drank it out of them like vampires, but alas, they did not. They just had it in little like Capri Sun type pouches that they just poked into and drank. It was actually pretty civilized for people that would drink blood.
Okay. My second question, I guess, is so is your book already out? Can people buy that, or do you have a release date?
So I have a release date for it. It's going to be coming out in 2023. I'm going to skip this year. It seems like it's going to be about a year to do this. So I'm going to move it to 2023, and then I'm going to go on a press tour as soon as everything opens back up, because my theory is that if you release a book right now, it's going to get swallowed under all the news coverage. I mean, there have been books this whole time with COVID where they've been the New York Times #1 bestseller. But have you heard of them? No. Have you seen them on Oprah? No. Have you seen them on Ellen? No. Why? They're not essential. They're not heroes right now. So I'll wait a year and I'll be a hero in a year.
Okay, that's pretty fair, I guess.
Oh, one more thing. Before you go, I just want to talk about a charity that you had their advertisement on here earlier. The children of the incident of 69. So back in 1969, in a small Midwestern town, the gas station closed for the day and nobody could get their chewing tobacco, so they went over into local farmers' fields and they started chewing the tobacco leaves out of the fields. They didn't know that there was pesticide on the leaves, and a whole generation of working class men died, leaving the town in shambles. And so now there was a fund that was originally started for the wives and then their children, and then now the grandchildren of these people, to just fund their lives because some of them don't have grandpas. So anyways, check out the children of the incident of 1969. A website's going to go up soon. Check my book out. I appreciate you having me on the podcast, and I'll catch you next time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Safe travels. And that is a wrap on this one, everybody. I will see you next time.
For your privacy. Hidden identity.
What's your location?
Thanks for talking to me today. Tell me your stories. I want to know, really. I believe. Tell me.
see.